Just blocks from the Southwest Community Center, where they were paid to keep young people away from crime, prosecutors say Ahmed Abdi and Cassium Pitts were doing the opposite, selling cocaine and meth while on the job, working as snug outreach workers.
And they're accused of doing this on the clock.
The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
Yeah, so we've entered a new like thing, like circa 2020, when they installed an illegitimate potato head president through an election that was very much manipulated through the powers that be. You could call it outside influence, you can call it mail-in ballot, whatever, but it was pretty much a coerced effort, coordinated by not only deep state factors, but other countries who benefited greatly from the open borders and the open wallet from the United States. So that's a big deal. That is moving into the territory of social workers taking over so far as what police work's supposed to be doing. Most of the time when it comes to domestic issues, those are some of the most violent and like unpredictable police calls you can get. Probably what they would say the most dangerous. But what we have here, this is happening in Syracuse, New York. I'm going to show you a video to prove to you what I'm saying. But in Syracuse, New York, you've got these two individuals that have been caught. Probably two of many. These are just the two that they've caught. And probably don't want to talk about it anymore because this was all Kathy Hochul's big money laundering program to put ex-criminals in charge of public safety. And they actually went out and started selling a bunch of drugs. They're getting paid by the state or the county or however this works to drive around and monitor pretty much. And when you sit there and think about it, not to get off subject, but what did the Chinese Communist Party? They pay a bunch of people to be like little police officers that just monitor and record and, log things and talk to the public and help kind of, public relations, I guess you'd call it. CCP does the same thing. But anyways, I'll digress on that. But these people whose job was for public safety. And one of the two individuals, Ahmed Abdi, which sounds like an illegal, and Cassium Pitts, both outreach workers for Syracuse, New York, called SNUG, which is guns spelled backwards. I kid you not. The state-funded anti-violence initiative has accepted this plea deal. Let me take you to the video of this insane stuff that's going on in New York. This is your tax dollars hard at work. Check this out.
Just blocks from the Southwest Community Center, where they were paid to keep young people away from crime, prosecutors say Ahmed Abdi and Cassium Pitts were doing the opposite, selling cocaine and meth while on the job, working as snug outreach workers.
And they're accused of doing this on the clock.
Yeah.
And now both men have taken plea deals. Pitts will spend 9 years behind bars.
Mr. Abdi pled guilty to 2 different offenses.
Abdi will serve 6.
One of the most troubling things about Mr. Abdi's actions here is the abuse of position.
These sentences closing out a year-long investigation.
He ain't worried about none of that.
Uncovering new evidence. News Channel 9
He's laughing about
this
it.
Video showing Abdi stepping out of a car, walking to another, getting inside, and making what prosecutors call a hand-to-hand drug deal with a confidential informant.
It's honestly crazy, right? Because if I were to just tell you these words, you're like, this isn't happening, this isn't occurring, this can't happen. And then you see the video, and you see the bright orange vest. You can't miss that bright orange vest, and you're like, man, it's actually happening in our city.
Then later, more video shows Pitts and Abdi driving together. The senior assistant district attorney on the case, Alphonse Williams, walks me through what we're seeing.
And as you can see, Mr. Abdi's driving. He has the exact same outfit on, and Mr. Pitts is right next to him wearing this bright orange vest. It's a little discomforting, to say the least.
SNUG, which is guns spelled backwards, hires credible messengers who are often people with criminal histories to connect with at-risk youth and help keep them off the streets.
This is a state-funded program, and these are taxpayer dollars at work.
It's a model long supported by Governor Kathy Hochul, funded with millions of state dollars.
Yeah.
It's an important program because I know that it works, I want to continue investing in what we know has a track record, a proven track record of accomplishment.
When the arrest first happened, Lateef Johnson Kinsey, who runs the mayor's office to reduce gun violence, said the incident was disappointing, but isolated.
It was 2 individuals, not 20. 2 individuals does not stop what we're doing as a community.
You can bet. I will say this. They're going to be like that dude with the dreadlocks who was in charge of this investigation. The one dude here that we seen, like he might lose his job when they find out. Dang, he wasn't supposed to look into this. When they find out that guy did his job as a prosecuting attorney, that guy right there. You're going to get fired. You're making that dude the mayor looking bad, dude. Speaking of mayors looking bad, Mayor Brandon Johnson, he says that arresting and incarcerating criminals is racist, and it doesn't perform any civic duty so far as lowering crime rates. Try telling it to that one white chick who just got burned up on a train, who actually was a BLM supporter, got burned up by a non-white dude.
We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
That guy is a flaming idiot. And I'll say this much. Talking about manipulated elections and all that, society itself manipulated through engineering of many, many ways and methods of the facilitation of weaponized media. Not news, but media. Movies, commercials, music, which inspires the youth to act out in ways that aren't very sustainable. And so the black community has been severely taken under by the music that they were, said, this is what you listen to. This is your music. This is your culture right here. And your culture is to be flaming idiots and do all kind of stupid stuff, sell drugs and do all terrible things. All, gangster rap in the 90s was a bunch of white, I gotta be careful, but it was literally the Jewish people that went in there and hijacked the music industry and then geared all this music towards destroying these black communities who were very strong and coming up quickly, independently, outside of the system, not wanting to be part of that system. And then it got sucked into that, and then you have all this high crime rate and everything, then the prisons overflowing because they designed the society to be that way. So it gives idiots like that some kind of leg to stand on, saying that, well, if we just arrest people, it doesn't fix anything. And it actually does work. If you arrest people, it does deter crime, and that they know this. If they understand, if they go in there and steal less than $1,000 worth of stuff and they're not going to be arrested, they just might have to do a court date and maybe a probation or possibly something else that's nothing. And they might even drop charges. We see charges get dropped all the time. If they realize that these are going to stick, you're going to do some form of jail time, it has a reduction and it sends a message out. And, that works. That really works. I'll just sort of let this play out. By the way, this is Brandon Johnson's Chicago, by the way, the same area where that one lady who actually, a young girl, that got burned up by the non-white dude who was a BLM supporter. This is their area. This is police having to intervene for and this won't do any good. These people won't be arrested. They'll go through all this for nothing, and there's a good chance that these police officers could very well be reprimanded and fired from their job. And this is a society in decline. This is what you're looking at here. See, this guy, that person needs to be arrested for even interfering with all that. I think Florida has a law where, like, if you get within a certain amount of feet to intervene in a police arrest, that you're going to be arrested as well. You could be. Florida is leading the way in a lot of things. But anyways, yeah, there you go. So a little something to think about. Guys, take it easy. Have a wonderful rest of the day. thank you all the new subscribers, and thank you all the wonderful people who watched my little short that I talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I do respect all your comments. I watched that. She didn't get all that money from insider trading. Just to kind of give you a FYI, when you run the numbers, we're in the middle of a propaganda campaign to divide the conservatives. And there's a lot of misinformation coming out right now to do that. And Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't get all that money from insider trading. She does have some form of stock, but she doesn't have much control over that portfolio. She actually isolated herself for that purpose. Most of her money comes from the construction businesses that she inherited when her father passed away. Her father passed away and left her the entire business, and by the fact, he passed away while she left him to go vote to keep Donald Trump from being impeached. And he passed away during that, while she wasn't even there she couldn't even be there during her father's passing while he was in the hospital. But she inherited that business, and if you do the numbers, that's where 90% of that money comes from. And that's nowhere near the amount of money that Pelosi has laundered through her insider trading. You can look at it. You can watch Marjorie Taylor's turnaround and the percentage that she makes off the stocks, and it's actually legitimate. It's about a 10%, which is normal. It's about what you get. So, anyhow, I pull for that chick. Hope that we can straighten things out and we can get past the propaganda campaign that's trying to wipe out what solidarity we have and unity in America, because we got to get together, guys, for these midterms and hope for the best. Take it easy.